And welcome to the Truth Radio Show with Dan Bidondi on alternatecurrentradio.com. Today is Friday, September 19th of 2014 edition, our second edition here on Alternate Current Radio. And last week was a huge success. I mean, we had a lot of listeners. Alternate Current Radio is a brand new station. It's building up already. It's got thousands, I believe over 10,000 listeners already on the station, and we got a lot of good shows on Alternate Current Radio, so check out the website alternatecurrentradio.com and look at all the listings, folks, and all the great shows we got going on here at Alternate Current Radio. And again, those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Dan Bidondi. I'm a part-time reporter for Infowars.com. I'm a reporter for also, and my talk show for, obviously, TruthRadioShow.com here. That's my website, TruthRadioShow.com, and anybody wants to check that out, we got tons of video reports. Other than, the radio show here, the radio show on Freedomizer Radio, we do our own reports as well. We do video reports, and we got a lot of good stuff, and just uploaded yesterday is I had an interview last week on Monday's show on Freedomizer Radio with Doc Marquis, former Illuminati. Basically, during that long interview, we had him on for 2 hours, but I just broke the segment down about decoding the dollar bill. And most of you people don't even know what's in your pocket is pure Illuminati. And if you don't believe this, folks, it sounds far-fetched, check that video. It's posted now on TruthRadioShow.com. And, folks, we've got a lot of news today. I mean, it's disgusting. I mean, not even know where to begin. And Common Core, with a question mark, sixth graders taught how to use strap-on dildos. That's right, you heard this right. A Jacksonville school is teaching sixth graders how to use a strap-on dildo. And those of you don't know what a dildo is, you're probably living under a rock, but in case you need to know, it's a male phallic, it's a penis. It's an artificial penis that girls use for masturbation or whatever. I don't even want to know. But, this sounds very bizarre, and which is even more bizarre, our government, the House, approves a bill to arm the Syrian rebels. That's right, the same Syrian rebels who gassed all the people in Syria and blamed it on Assad. Our government gave them the weapons to do that. Now they're arming Syrian rebels, which are Al-Qaeda, ISIS, ISIL, whatever you want to call them. They're the same thing. And John McCain taking pictures with ISIS and say, yelling at Rand Paul that Rand Paul doesn't know the terrorists. John McCain should be in jail. He should be arrested for treason. That guy should be in jail, period. And he's all this, I'm so mad already at the start of the show. And, you got the Ebola virus. It's just dramatically increasing, folks. It is going to be a huge epidemic here in the United States. We got our government buying Ebola virus suits, protection suits. They bought it by, I believe, about 160. We got the article. We're going to cover that today. FBI facial recognition programs hit full operational capacity. Again, technocracy, folks, and the police state. We're going to try to get to all this news. I hope we can, because there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, I'm going to try to move to 2 hours. I'm going to talk to the staff at Alternate Current Radio, and more than likely going to probably move to 2 hours within a week or two. And because an hour is not enough, folks, between the breaks and everything else, to get all this news out. I mean, it's just that far-fetched. And I don't blame you. If you don't believe in this, folks, I don't blame you if you don't believe in this stuff. But it's all on record, all of this. This is not conspiracy theory. And if you want to call it conspiracy, it's a conspiracy fact, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, again, I'm just so already, today I was digging up the news and printing the stuff out, and it just makes you disgusted. It really does, and this really grinds me. This really does. Common Core sixth graders taught how to use strap-on dildos. Article by Paul Joseph Watts on Infowars.com. Shocking images out of a classroom. We're going to see it right on screen now. I mean, you can see the woman. This woman with short hair, she's like some dyke or something. Whatever. I don't even want to get into that, because I don't want to be labeled anti-gay. Whatever. It's not that. Nothing to do with that. But this woman, okay, and dyke is probably the nicest thing I should call this woman, sitting there teaching these young sixth graders how to use, and she's performing sexual acts with her clothes on the damn desk in front of these children. Oh, this is how you insert the dildo, you strap it on. It is vulgar and disgusting. What kind of witch would go in front of kids to say, and make sexual poses, spread her legs, and play with a dildo right in front of the children? What in the hell kind of world are we living in? And this girl should, oh man, the parents should be outraged. They should press charges against the school, against this woman, against this damn program. I mean, yeah, you teach the children about sex, yes, like we all learn. About the penis, the vagina, the sperm, whatever, that's natural. But you don't teach 6th graders how to use a damn dildo. This is just gross and disgusting. I mean, I'm not going to, but reading an article says shocking images out of the classroom in Jacksonville, Florida, illustrate how 11 and 12-year-olds in the 6th grade are being taught how to use strap-on dildos amidst a debate about Common Core sex education standards, which have been attacked by some as pornographic. Well, no kidding. The teachers sitting here spreading their legs, doing all kinds of acrobatic stuff on the desk, teaching the kids how to use these dildos. That's just disgusting. And I gotta move on because I'll blow this whole damn segment on ranting about that. And I mean, people should be outraged. Even if you don't go to Jacksonville, Florida schools, you know what? People all over the country who have common sense and decency, for God's sake, call the school and reprimand them. The parents should be outraged. If that was my kid, I'd be down there in that school demanding blood. And not physical blood, but to be demanding the pink slip from these people, all of them. They should go to the meetings, the parent-teacher conference meetings. There should be a huge outrage in Jacksonville, Florida. A huge one. One of them, she should have just took her clothes off. She should have just done that. It's just disgusting. And we're going to move on. House set to vote on audit in the Fed. And this is Tim Shoemaker, Campaign for Liberty, reporting that late Friday night, Campaign for Liberty received confirmation that H.R. 24, the Federal Reserve Transparency Act, or Audit the Fed as better known, sponsored by this Congress Republican Paul Brown, will receive a vote as soon as this Tuesday. And now with the bill coming up under the suspension of rules, it will take 2/3 of the House, or roughly 290, to vote yes in order for this to pass. But how many times, I'm never going to read the rest of that, because how many times have they went out to audit the Fed? And when they did pass, the Federal Reserve used their own auditors. They weren't independent auditors or real auditors from the government. They were their own auditors. Of course, they're going to come in and say, oh, yeah, all the gold's there. It's all accounted for. And I'm telling you right now, I know. I mean, all the studies I've did, everything I know, 99% sure, folks. I'm never 100%. Because, there's always a possibility of us being wrong, whatever. But, I'll admit that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll admit it. I'll be the first one to admit it. But 99% sure, folks, I'm telling you. I'm not asking you or whatever. I'm telling you, there is no gold at all in the Federal Reserve. I mean, if you do the history, you have FDR, Franklin Delaware Roosevelt, the president, made an executive order to confiscate citizens' gold. And if you caught with gold, you would be arrested because he said, oh, it belongs to the Federal Reserve now. That's back in the 1930s, folks. You really need to investigate this stuff, folks. And the Federal Reserve came in power in 1913 and got really pushed when FDR was actually president. And FDR was not a good president, folks. Regardless of what you've been taught to believe, the guy was a pure Illuminati, New World Order, globalist scum. And moving on, you got Facebook bans gun owners, allows kitten torture video. We covered this last week. I just want to go over this. To show you, this is actually supposed to be in the other folder here because I separate all the news into different folders. Like technology, I put it all in one folder so we're not all over the place. So you people could actually make sense of and also learn how it all ties in together when you put them in the specific categories, in their respective categories. But anyway, Facebook bans gun owners, allows kitten torture video. And that shows the technocracy, folks. When it comes to supporting the Second Amendment, hey, I don't think so. But when it comes to torturing kids, too, that they show this on the Facebook, we talked about this last week, hey, it's okay. It doesn't violate Facebook standards. But, supporting the constitutional right does. Unbelievable. But anyway, firefighter, and again, another article here. A couple of these you might have heard last week. We're going to go over them quickly. And firefighters ordered to remove American flag stickers days before 9/11. That was InfoWars Don Salazar. And again, First Amendment now being thrown out the window. And I'm going through a First Amendment issue, too, with my job right now. And my bumper stickers, they're trying to nag me for that. And you got Pope Francis and Shimon Peres discuss the establishment of a United Nations of Religions. We talked about that last week, and we're going to go over a couple of those articles. And basically how the Pope is dead set on creating a New World Order, one world religion. And no, it's not of God. It's not good at all. And that peace, folks, is the wrong kind of peace. That peace is slavery. That's what that peace is. And tax-free Second Amendment weekend sends gun and ammo sales surging 600%, reports Breitbart. And this was in Mississippi. Guns.com reported this. And it shows you, hey, yeah, because tax-free weekends are great, man. I mean, it helps sales out a lot. And also, it supports the Second Amendment to do this. I mean, I encourage all gun store owners out there to have some kind of a weekend like that. Hell, you know what? Even if you can't get the tax break from the government or the state, whatever, you know what? Pay the taxes for the customers. It will help you out in the long run. And finding the God particle, I mean, that's a joke altogether. With Stephen Hawking. I mean, I don't even know why people recognize this guy as a scientist. That guy should be committed, if you ask me. Finding the God particle could destroy the universe, warned Stephen Hawking. But the same God particle that Stephen Hawking doesn't believe. So he'll say there's no God, but there's a God particle. Anyway, we don't have time for that. Department of Justice memo, President has the constitutional authority for dragnet surveillance. First of all, no, he doesn't. We talked about this last week. And the Obama administration wants everyone to know that it claims the power to conduct dragnet surveillance of American phone records, and that is not going to bother revealing the source of that. And basically, they want you to know it's constitutional. No, it's not, because the Fourth Amendment says so. And U.S. spy chief endorses bill that would limit the NSA powers. So you got good stuff going on, bad stuff going on, and ultimately the people who, most of the time that support these good things is always a darker agenda behind it to get your votes or whatever the case is, whatever the agenda is. But yes, there are good people in government. There are good people in the court systems. There are good cops and everything else. So we got to circumvent that. And, that's why we need to, keep this information war going, because there are good people in the government, but very few at that. I mean, that's what I seem to believe in, because we're just being overrun with tyranny, and just so much stuff going on. And you got, again, the House approves a bill to I got to laugh at that. The House approves bill to arm Syrian rebels, and we're going to move on to the whole ISIS fabrication. That's exactly what it is. And it's fabrication. It's a creation by the CIA. Yes, they're a real militant group, no doubt. Yes, they're killing Christians, no doubt. Yes, they're tyrants, no doubt. But they are a creation of our federal government. And something with the Syrian rebels, remember when Syria last year gassed their own people? It wasn't Assad. No, it was the Syrian rebels that did that. And guess where they got the chemical weapons from? You guessed it, the CIA. The CIA and the Department of Defense and all them gave them the chemical weapons, okay, and told them how to use them and everything else, to use it on the Syrian people, which killed thousands of them, to blame it on Assad. So the American people give Obama full support to go after Syria. But it backfired, because they did a Gallup poll, I think it was 95% or whatever it was, even Democrats opposed going to war with Syria. Because the fraud got leaked out. People knew, hey, this is a hoax. This didn't really happen. You know what I mean? So it got leaked out, and it was the whole fraud got shot down. So the Obama administration lost approval rate to go into Syria. Now they're trying to, they come up with this new fabrication of this thing called ISIS. They're created, again, by the CIA on record. On record, they created ISIS, Al-Qaeda. And who do you think the Syrian rebels are? They're not good people. They're Al-Qaeda. They're people that we give weapons to, people we fund. They are Al-Qaeda, and they belong to ISIS too. So all we're doing is arming ISIS, which John McCain admitted to doing that. He's got pictures all over the internet of him with the rebels there, and I'm just like tongue-tied today. There's just so much information to get out. Just take a deep breath here. And I'm just so aggravated about that dildo thing. I mean, it sounds funny, but it's just like, it really drives me crazy. But anyway, John McCain's got pictures with ISIS. He's got pictures with the terrorists. And dares to yell at Ryan Paul to say, hey, you don't know the terrorist. Again, that guy should be arrested. And speaking of McCain, angry McCain admits meeting with ISIS, scolds Rand Paul for not knowing terrorists. Steve Watson from InfoWars reports. In an appearance on Fox News Monday, McCain was asked to respond to Paul's comments earlier today when the Libertarian leaning senator, libertarian leaning senator told CBS, it's hard to see with these lights in here, but they told CBS this morning that arming the Syrian rebels would only empower ISIS in the long run. Well, yeah, no kidding. And Rand Paul's saying this, but McCain comes screaming out, "Oh, how dare you? How dare you? You don't know how they are." This guy's, why is he a senator? Why is McCain a damn senator? That guy should be impeached. I mean, it really, oh man, it really gets me. It really does. And that's when things got weird, the report says. And has Rand Paul ever been to Syria, he says? Has he ever met with ISIS? Has he ever met with any of these people? No, McCain said, clearly in reference to his own visit in Syria in 2013. Is where we get the pictures from. And right here, right on the screen, I don't even have to put it on the screen. It's right here. It's a big picture. Put it right in the camera here. There's John McCain last year with all the ISIS people. And yes, ISIS, back then was called Al-Qaeda and the Syrian rebels. It's the same group. John McCain, and he's telling people, "Oh, you don't know them, so how could you say anything bad about them? They're killing people. They're chopping people's heads off, moron." I mean, would they chop your head off, your brains off? I mean, this guy should be arrested. We got about 30 seconds to a break, and I'm heated up already in this first segment here. And when we get back from the break, we're gonna get into more of this news about ISIS, and we're gonna try to shift over quick to the health and eugenics. You got the Ebola virus is a possibility of it going airborne. FBI facial recognition programs. I mean, they're on full capability. They're being used everywhere in the police state. I mean, the police state should say enough. But we got to go to break, and when we get back, we're going to cover all this stuff, and I hope we get to cover it all. And folks, we're in a lot of tyranny, folks, unless we wake up and put a stop to this. And we'll be right back on Truth Radio Show on Alternate Current Radio. And welcome back to the Truth Radio Show on AlternateCurrentRadio.com. And I'm still heated about that whole sexual thing in Jacksonville, Florida, with the dildo, the teacher on the desk using sexual profanity with her body to show these kids how to use a strap-on. I mean, what in the hell is this world coming to? And again, I gotta shut up about that. I'm gonna shut up about it. I am right now. I'm gonna shut up about that because I just ruined this whole show. I mean, got a lot of stuff to cover, and it just makes my blood boil. Because could you imagine? I mean, only you can imagine if that was my child in that classroom. Things would have got ugly, damn right, because I would have went down to the school and heads would have rolled. That's exactly what happened. But we got to move on. Record beheadings and the mass arrests of Christians, ISIS or Saudi Arabia. Well, we know they're all against the Christians. You know, it's not a lie or a conspiracy. That's openly stated. And this is Michael Kruger from Liberty Blinker. And in the past month, a group of radical Islamic extremists based in the Middle East beheaded at least 23 people and enforced a ban on Christianity by arresting a group of people for practicing the faith in a private home. So yes, Christianity is badly being oppressed, folks. And if you don't believe this, folks, I mean, it's there. It is there. They are openly stating, yes, we're beheading Christians. You know, yes, if you don't turn to Allah, and I'm not attacking the Muslims, because the Muslims here in America are very peaceful people. I know a lot of people, the Muslims, and they're good people. But when I have to call it how it is, folks, and I don't mean to offend anybody who's a Muslim out there, but if you do the studies on who Muhammad was, we're going to get into that altogether. I mean, Muhammad, Joseph Smith, Charles Taze Russells, all these founders of these fake religions, folks, every one of them all had one thing in common. We're going to get into that. We're going to do a detailed report about that. And you'll be surprised. I mean, those of you who follow Mormonism, Jehovah's Witnesses, Muslims and everything else, you'll be blown away to find out what your founders, who they really were. And anyway, back to this, people be beheaded, and he goes, and the article says, no, I'm not talking about ISIS. The real culprit is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, one of America's closest global allies. Well, yeah, ISIS is doing it as well. That is a fact. I mean, they're beheading Christians, but yes, Saudi Arabia is too. And the article talks about that, and about the Saudi Arabians beheading Christians. And we know that. And moving along quick through the ISIS news, Obama admits ISIS beheading videos help White House agenda. Oh, yeah, because they'll flash it all over the media. Oh, this is why we got to go back to Iraq, even though he's opposing Iraq on one side, but he never wanted to get out of Iraq in the first place. They want to occupy the whole world. But anyway, this is Paul Joseph Watson, InfoWars, reporting a New York Times report concerned Barack Obama's military policy towards the Islamic State. Paraphrased, the president as acknowledging the fact that the recent spat of ISIS beheading videos has helped the White House galvanize public opinion behind Washington's policy in the Middle East. And yes, of course, got to use every edge they can to get the American people's support to go to war, to do whatever they want to do. And Obama's ISIS PR campaign working perfectly, reports Infowars.com. And just like we said, they use all the stuff that's going on, which is bad, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, none of this stuff is good, but it's all PR campaign to get public support to go to war. Because remember, and let's go back again, who's the one who created ISIS? Who's the one, or ISIL, whatever you want to call them now, and who's the one who created Al-Qaeda? Who's the one who funds the Syrian rebels? Our CIA, our government, heads of our government do that. So they create the boogeyman, they create the terrorist problem, reaction, solution, so you, the people, could fall for it and be fooled by it, even though people, yes, are getting killed. So if you want who the real enemies are, folks, the real enemies, if you want to go after the head of the serpent, or the tundra, if you want to call it, instead of going after all these little tentacles, if you want to not kill the whole thing altogether, you go after the head. And I'm telling you, the head right now is the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. They're the ones who fund all these terrorism groups. They're the ones who give them weapons and everything they need. So if you want to arrest or go after politically these people, it's the CIA. Go after them first. Because those people are the head of the tundra. But it goes a little deeper than that. We don't have time to get into that. And it falls into the Jesuit order and everything else. And no, I'm not sounding crazy conspiracy theory, but this is all tied in. They run all the secret intelligence networks in the world. And you got Dick Cheney urges Republicans to take hardline military stance against ISIS. This headline news here, Obama-ISIS war profit from military contracts. And Eisenhower warned us about that, the misplace of military power. And the military-industrial complex, and misplaced power. And he warned us about that in his farewell address, to beware of these people. With people, this kind of power that's going to push war propaganda in the military-industrial complex. They're the ones who make money off this stuff, and they don't care. And I'm going to tell you right now, people say, "Oh, why would our government ever do that? Our government would never kill its own people." Really? Obviously, you don't know our government. And I'm not saying the government, okay? I'm not against the government at all. I mean, we know we need government for certain things. But what I'm against is the criminal elements that hijacked our government. The foreign communist, New World Order, global scum that hijacked our government, who dare to call themselves politicians, who dare to call themselves servants of the United States. Because they're not. They hijacked our government years ago, and now they are using that misplaced power, as Eisenhower warned, JFK warned, the Founding Fathers warned that this was in the Federalist Papers. Read the Federalist Papers. But I bet your civics class won't even teach that, and half the schools don't even have civics no more. But I mean, in the history classes, they lie about George Washington. They give you the lukewarm version down, and they try to lie about him constantly. So, Thomas Jefferson, he was too extreme, so we took him out of the textbooks in most states. Because he's too extreme, because he teaches people, how to defend your civil liberties. And I don't mean to go off folks like this. I mean, just like real, motivated right now, real pumped up, fired full of liberty, and there's so much stuff I want to get out, but there's not enough time in the world. Even running 2 radio shows on 2 different stations, doing our own thing on truthradioshow.com. So technically there's 3 shows we're running here, and I'm running a campaign as well. I'm running for state senator here in Central Falls, Rhode Island, and if anybody wants to contribute to that, we got a webpage, bidondiforsenate.com, and it's all tied into the same account, truthradioshow.com, if anybody wants to donate. But on the radio show, because all the stuff here you see, the streaming, the internet, and everything else, it costs a hell of a lot of money. It really does. And we don't get banker bailouts. We don't get funds from corporate interest groups. And if we did, we would have billions of dollars equipment, but I would never take that money from them. And but anyway, we made a documentary. It's called Fluoride, the Eugenics Plot Exposed. YouTube will not let me upload it. I tried several times, several different channels. They would not let me upload it. But I do get it on DVD, folks. It's high quality on DVD. And the $25 donation or more to TruthRadioShow.com for the radio show will get you that DVD for free. And eventually we want to put it on YouTube. But if you want to buy the DVD, put it on YouTube, God bless you. If you could get it on YouTube, do so. You know what I mean? Make copies, sell them, or give them to your friends and families and neighbors. There's no copyright on this film. We urge you to make copies of this. So again, $25 or more of a donation to TruthRadioShow.com. The money goes directly into what you see here. We're working on getting better studios, more equipment. The gas just to get out to do these reports is a lot of money. You know what I mean? The equipment, the batteries, new camera equipment, the computers. We constantly needed upgraded computers because when you edit the films and everything else, put the movie makers and everything else, it's the technology is always updating, so we need to keep on top of that. The money for paper, the articles here. Every day, we're just printing articles left and right out. The ink on top of it, everybody knows that has a printer knows ink costs a lot of money. But anyway, enough of that. I mean, again, if you have the money, please, and any amount, if you want to donate $1, trust me, that will help us out. It will. And $1, $5, $10, $25 or more gets you the DVD, whatever you feel comfortable doing. There's no specific amount. We have a secure PayPal account on TruthRadioShow.com. Anyway, back to the news. Flashback. Ebola virus goes airborne. This is back in the 80s, I believe, about 1989. But the article says causes outbreak in medical lab. And Kit Daniels reports from InfoWars, a mutated Ebola virus likely spread through the ventilation system of the Virginia Medical Lab in 1989 and infected dozens of monkeys in separate research rooms, highlighted the current potential of an airborne Ebola strain killing millions of people. So they probably did this purposely to see if it did go airborne, which it did. So what that's saying is the Ebola virus now has the potential of mutating to go airborne, as they proved back in the late 1989, and they did this on monkeys. And Ebola death passes 2,000. We talked about this last week. I want to bring it up one more time. This was back in September 5th. This was reported from Daily Mail. They were telling how about the Ebola virus passed 2,000 people, killed them, as Liberia shuts down contaminated police station in Syria's Leone's capital crumbles. And again, over 2,000 people. Now it's probably over 3,000. One article after this actually talked about 2,200. So the numbers, again, nobody knows the exact numbers, but yes, they are in the thousands. I mean, that is confirmed. And virologists say it's too late. The Ebola will kill 5 million. Reports Infowars.com, and posted by Paul Joseph Watson. A top German virologist has caused shockwaves by asserting that it's too late to halt the spread of Ebola in Sierra Leone and Liberia, and that 5 million people will die. Nothing that the efforts should now be focused on stopping the transmission of the virus to other countries. And so with this, and it's Jonas Schmidt, forgive me if I can't pronounce his name right, Jonas Schmidt, Chancellor of the Bernard Notch Institute for Tropical Medicine in Hamburg, that's in Germany, told Germany's Duchess Wells that all hope is lost for the inhabitants of Sierra Leone and Liberia, that the virus will only burn itself out and when it has infected the entire population and killed 5 million people. So he's spreading, and when the article goes on here to say when I said about the 2,200, the current Ebola outbreak in West Africa has killed over 2,200 people, with Liberia and Sierra Leone accounting for over 1,700 of those fatalities. So we're seeing a huge threat, folks, and all it takes is one person to come here with the Ebola virus, and I'll be done. So we're going to move on quick. We still got the police state news we're going to cover at the next segment, the last segment there. And experts say Ebola could go airborne. Again, another article, Paul Joseph Watson. Top doctors and virologists are now acknowledging that InfoWars first reported over a month ago, which they did, that the Ebola virus has mutated, may have gone airborne and could kill millions. And yes, they have said that. That's on record. And the United States State Department purchased over 160,000 Ebola hazmat suits. The U.S. State Department has ordered 160,000 hazmat suits for Ebola, prompting concerns that the federal government is anticipating the rapid spread of the virus that has already claimed an unprecedented number of lives, as we just talked about. So, yes, the government's already prepared for this, and could you only imagine what FEMA's got? And now you got Obama to ask for $88 million to boost the anti-Ebola virus effort. So President Barack Obama plans to ask Congress to approve his request for $88 million to fund a major Ebola offensive in West Africa that would include this is the key text here, that would include greater military involvement. You hear that? How they slip that in there, which has nothing to do with military. But they requested it for $88 million to fund a major Ebola offensive in West Africa. That would include greater military involvement, the Wall Street Journal reported Monday, September 15th. Greater military involvement. So they're going to use a crisis to get in there and push the military power through, which has nothing at all to do combating the Ebola virus. Nothing at all. But we're going to push our military power in there. Notice how cleverly they slipped that in there. You know, because they got everybody hoodwinked with the scared, about the Ebola virus, then they quickly slipped in. Oh, we're going to put our military power in there too. But we want $88 million to help out against the medical the outbreak here. I get tongue-tied here. That's why I'm not a professional speaker, because I just speak from the heart, and I speak how it is. And yes, I stutter, I mispronounce words, but you know what? Who cares? It's the message that counts. And if somebody else could do it better than me, hey, come on up. I'll give you my seat. But other than that, I know it's my duty to get up here and report this stuff. And, so forgive me if I stutter and mispronounce words. You can't help it, because your head it's not that you do that purposely or that you can't read. It's nothing about that. It's because your head and this is to my trolls out there. People troll me. Oh, look, he pronounced the word, he stuttered, or, so what? It's not that I can't read. Okay, it's because you don't understand. Because when you get tons of news coming at you left and right, like in my head right now, I'm talking about the Ebola. I got the police state stuff in my mind, the technology stuff, and how to tie these things together to show people and simplify things, how everything is going on and how it all fits together for this New World Order agenda. So when you got a mind like working overtime, even when you're sleeping, I'm reading out loud in my sleep or talking out loud, and it's just like. There's a lot of information. Plus, you read books, you read documents. I got to proofread a lot of people's books, that authors and all that. Guests are going to be coming on the show, and I try to catch up. And it's just a lot of work to be done here, folks. It's not just print out the news and read it on the air. No, it's a lot more involved. I do my own producing most of the time, and so it is a lot of work involved here, a lot. So if I do mispronounce a word or stutter, so what? Again, if somebody could do it better, God bless you. Come on up. And again, feds force public schools to accept illegal children without medical screenings. We got about a minute left, so we're going to go right through the headlines here. School labels chapstick over-the-counter drug, demands students bring doctor's note. So they're nanny-nizing everybody to say, hey, you can't... you can only have what you want. You can't bring a lunch from home, so you only can eat what we tell you to eat. And you got mad science, genetically modified microhumans to be farmed for drug testing by 2017. The developers of artificial microhumans, or mini GM humans, are hoping to release their technology on the market by 2017 because they don't want to use animals. So hell, let's create artificial life, play God, then use them for guinea pigs. But we got to roll to a break, and we're going to, we have to zip through the news when we get back. And we got a new virus coming out. Well, it's in here in America, EVD68. We're going to talk about that when we get back. Then we're going to get right into the police state, folks, because there's a lot of stuff going on. We need to wake up the public. And this is Dan Bidondi for Truth Radio Show on alternatecurrentradio.com. And welcome back to Truth Radio Show with Dan Bidondi on alternatecurrentradio.com. And that's our second show. It's going by great. We're already in our last segment, so I'm going to zip through the news. And again, the mysterious EVD68 virus Vaccinated children could be more vulnerable, as the report says on Enquesta.com. And the mysterious virus known as EVD68 has spread across the Midwest at a rapid rate. Many children have been hospitalized with the virus, about 475 in Kansas alone. Kansas City at that. And there's no known vaccine for the virus here, as the report says. And again, over 400 kids have been affected by this. And speaking of immunizations, student immunizations change in Rhode Island soon. We reported about this last week. They want to force inoculations on the children. And they say, oh, you can use your religious exemption, but hey, there's consequences. So they're going to make it tough for anybody to get into school or even participate in any public program if you're not vaccinated. And they got dozens of children dead after UN gave tainted vaccine in rebel-held Syria. And Kurt Nimmo, Infowars.com, reports a United Nations-sponsored measles vaccine program in northern Syria resulted in 36 children suffering excruciating deaths, according to the doctors in the area held by the U.S. and Saudi mercenaries who are administering the program. So again, on record, right here, we're telling you folks, the vaccines kill people. Okay, we've been telling you this for years. Vaccines kill people. The H1N1. The vaccines kill more people than the people who had the virus. The flu shot. The vaccines kill way more people than the people who actually died from the flu. All on record, folks. You go to the CDC's website, Center for Disease Control, type in vaccine side effects, go right to the horse's mouth. They'll tell you the list of severe and deadly diseases and complications from these vaccines. That's the polio shot, the flu shot, the H1N1, the measles, the smallpox, all that stuff, folks. It's all on record. We've been telling you this for years, but people still insist, I'm going to poke my kids with it because I'm a good parent. No, you're not a good parent. I'm telling you right now. If you insist on, knowing this stuff, I mean, if you don't know this stuff, that's fine, but if you know this stuff now and you still give your kids, you know what? Why don't you just take the kids out in the back and just shoot them in the head? Get their lives over quicker because you're setting them up for a slow death. You're setting them up to have the IQ reduced, to all kinds of bodily damages to that child, over 80 mental diseases to that child because you want to get them vaccinated because you don't want to get off your lazy ass and teach your own kids, so you want to stick them in public schools. So, I shouldn't even be writing about this because we get so much news to talk about, but it just aggravates the hell out of me. And those people watching on the YouTube channel here, I video taped this, so it's going to be on this weekend here. The show here, the video portion of the show, it's going to be on YouTube on TruthRadioShow.com. And you could just, you probably imagine, but when you watch these shows, you can see the disgust in my eyes, man. That really pisses me off. But yeah, we get called the conspiracy theorist wackos for reporting how vaccines are dangerous. And how the government, right here, too, nail in the coffin, besides the CDC's vaccine side effects, go research that for yourself. John Rappaport from Infowars shows how the U.S. government admits vaccines cause autism. Admits it. The Autism Foundation now admits that the number one cause of autism is from the vaccinations, the inoculations that you give your kids. So no, you're not a good parent if you get your kids inoculated. You're not a good doctor. Actually, you should lose your damn license if you ask me. You're not a good doctor if you push these damn vaccines on your patients. And no, your doctors do not care about you. I don't care how long they've been in the family for. They do not care about you. They care about Big Pharma, their kickbacks, and about killing off the population. That's all they care about. It's really disgusting. And we're going to skip over this technology news. We're going to get into a whole section about that next week and about the technocracy going on because, the FBI's facial recognition program, all that stuff's tying together, the fake cell phone towers. We had a great interview with Mikhail Fallon last Monday about the fake cell phone towers. Go to Infowars.com, research fake cell phone towers, and we're going to do another exclusive interview with Mikhail Fallon on our video portion of TruthRadioShow.com. And if we move to 2 hours, you can probably get them on here too. And we're going to eventually move to 2 or 3 hours on multiple days a week. And we're going to get top-notch guests on the show here. And we're going to also keep our news hour and everything else. And, oh, man, my head's just spinning because I got family and friends who do this to me. You know what I mean? They ridicule me. They mock me all the time. All the reports I did, the toxicology studies and everything else, shows how deadly vaccines are. And I was the first on record before anyone, on record, the very moment a peep of the Ebola virus got out, I told everybody on record, they are going to come up with a vaccine. They're going to use the Ebola to push a vaccine onto the American people. And sure enough, it's out in the news already. They're talking about vaccinations. Bill Gates and all these other pharmaceutical companies are talking about vaccinations for the Ebola virus. And I'm telling people, like I told you that day, do not take that vaccine. The vaccine is going to be more deadly than the damn Ebola virus. And it sounds hard to believe, and no, the Ebola virus is nothing to mess with, but there's other ways to avoid that. And you need to look into that. Go to naturalnews.com, infowars.com. They got tons of ways to avoid these plagues and everything else. But folks, do not take the vaccine. I'm telling you right now. And we were right. I hate to be right. I wish there was a vaccine that cured things. And again, it's not the vaccine itself. It's the hundreds of derivatives that are added to these vaccines. It's a witch's toxic brew of deadly chemicals that are added to these shots. Not supposed to get into the police state stuff, and I apologize, folks. And it's just like, they really, if you can see on the video here, just look in my eyes, and you can see just the anger I got. The passion I got, to dedicate most of my life to this here, to the research, to the all the stuff we have, the guest on and everything else, to bring this truth to you, folks. And again, I tell everybody, do not believe me. I want you to go research the toxicology reports. Research the Harvard studies about fluoride and all that. Research all the stuff that the government admits that causes autism, the vaccines. Admits on record. But yeah, right on the inserts of the vaccines, when you go buy them, the boxes and all that, right on the damn inserts, it says it contains formaldehyde. Okay? It contains dimerisol, which is mercury. Why in the hell would you give that to your child? Why? What kind of moron and idiot are you? Oh, my doctor said it's okay. You should be smacked upside your head. It just pisses me off that people do this, including members of my family. You're just a bunch of lazy... I can't say it on air. I'm not going to say it because it really aggravates me that you induce your child to this death. Again, take the child out in the back and shoot him. This way the kid doesn't suffer a death. And I know that's harsh to say, and I don't mean it literally, folks. I really don't. But it just makes me so angry and so mad that people refuse to do the damn studies, especially doctors and dentists. With the fluoride and everything. You know what I mean? You're a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy theorist, even though scientific evidence proves my point. Oh, man, I'm just, I'm supposed to get to the police state news, and, it just bothers me because anybody that even has a kid, for God's sake, you know what I mean? Do what's best for your kid, not what the schools say. You sue the damn school. If they don't let your child in that school, sue them. It's your right. And it's also it's a federal law. You're allowed to. And they tell you it's a policy. It's not a policy, okay? A policy is not a law, okay? You can make all the policies you want. It doesn't mean it's a law. The Constitution overrides that. Even if it's a private property, the Constitution still if it serves the public, I don't care if it's private property or not, it serves the public, it falls under constitutional values. I'll argue with anybody about that. So if you're serving the public, you're a private business, you're serving the public come in, it's a public place, but it's private, the Constitution still applies within there. I don't care what your policies say. The policy could say anything it wants, it's not the law. I'm going to end up having a heart attack on the show, man, I'm telling you. And what really pisses me off, it's these damn vaccines and the eugenics they're pushing on the kids, the fluoride in the water, where our government admits of killing you folks. They admit it on record. They write doctrines. They write documents. Okay, they write all these legislation and such, Agenda 21 at the United Nations. All admitting, yes, we want to introduce more vaccines to you. We want to keep putting fluoride in your water. We want to take over the food crops with all GMO because it's going to kill you. Bill Gates openly admitted at the 2010 TED conference meeting, hey, we're going to kill you people. We're going to use global warming to tell you we need to reduce the world's carbon footprint. Then we're going to kill you because, and he openly says, we need to come up with newer vaccines to reduce the world's population. So they're openly admitting they're going to kill you, folks. And if you think this is a joke, you do all the studies, folks. They are openly admitting they're going to kill you. John P. Holdren, that's Obama's science czar in the White House, openly says in this book, you can go buy it, get it at the library, go get it at the bookstore. It's called Eco Science by John P. Holdren. They say they're going to kill you. I mean, that is not even fabricating, okay? And they say it worse, but in different ways. So, I mean, if you think far-fetched out there, folks, you really need to do the studies and it's not even a laughing matter because these people are working day and night. They're putting melamine in your baby's formula. I mean, they're constantly attacking the families with the CPS workers, splitting families up. They don't want families, folks, okay? They're going off the playbook called the Communist Manifesto, which matches the priorities of the Illuminati. They all match to a T, and if you don't believe in the Illuminati, you really need to do your studies. But anyway, these are communists which control the United Nations. They are the United Nations. They are going to kill you. Okay, that's exactly what they're trying to do, and people need to stand up against it. Stop the GMOs. Stop putting fluoride in the water. Stop spraying the chemtrails in the air, which is all admitted. HR 2977, the Sprays and Preservation Act of 2001. So it's all on record, folks, all of it. I mean, I'm supposed to get into the police state stuff, and I really wanted to get into this. I'm going to have to move to next week. We got about 5 minutes left of the show. And, it's just, it's called eugenics, folks. I mean, do the historical studies. Back in the 1930s, they put fluoride in the water, openly saying to dump down the population. And on record, folks, on record, Harvard studies admits it reduces IQ. It's all on record, all of this. And I can sit here and tell you till you're blue in the face, and most of the parents are still going to go out there stubborn. I'm going to get my kids, and they wave their heads around. These women that sit on the couch all day, just to get rid of their kids so they can watch Oprah and everything, and waving their heads around. I'm going to sit on the couch, and I'm going to watch TV because I want my kids out of my hair because my husband's always working. I don't care. Let them get vaccinated. You know what? You're a poor excuse as a parent. I mean, you should have your kids taken from you. And for that reason, it's then you get the CPS workers. I mean, that's another story altogether. A bunch of child molested perverts. That's what they are. And most kids that get molested are under the CPS care. That's on record, too. Now, I'm not saying all people work for CPS or like that. There are good people because they want to help kids, real people, and they get jobs like that. But there are a lot of people who get jobs like that to abuse kids. And it's all part of the same Agenda 21, folks. It's all tied in together. Let me just get into some of this police state news, and we're going to continue this next week because we've got a lot of stuff going on in the police state. You got Los Angeles School District police get armored vehicle grenade launchers, and this is Paul Joseph Watson reporting this. Questions are being asked to why the Los Angeles School District police needs equipment previously used in Iraq after officials admitted they had acquired a 20-foot long armored vehicle as well as grenade launchers from the U.S. military at a school district. A 14-ton armored vehicle, which was formerly used to transport U.S. Marines, was obtained in July and has been stored in a secret facility since it was received from the military at no cost. And CBS LA were denied permission to film the vehicle. But your taxpayer money did pay for that because that's how the military got it. They give it to the police department, but you can't film that because, it's secret. And they got grenade launchers. What the hell you need grenade launchers in a school district for? What do you need a tank for in a school district? We're seeing the federalization of the police departments happen right in front of our faces. My film, American Police State to Protect and Serve the New World Order, we filmed that about 3 years ago. I mean, it's a little low cut. I mean, very low cut, I should say. The editing is not good at all, but it gets down to the brass facts. It's probably the most educational police state film that you will ever see. It breaks down, it goes through the Federalist Papers, the warnings from the Founding Fathers. That's on my YouTube channel. You got to type in American Police State to Protect and Serve the New World Order. It's on our website, truthradioshow.com. And also many of our other videos, too. And FBI investigates teen in a coma after cop deploys taser during routine traffic stop. Don Salazar, Infowars.com, reports a 17-year-old boy went into a coma and is in critical condition after a Missouri police officer tasered him into a compliance during a routine traffic stop. So a 17-year-old boy, you had to taser him. And the FBI has been called out to investigate the incident following the issuance of police statements which conflict with the eyewitness testimony and video of the arrest. So they get this on video. So the statement is totally conflicting, contrary to what they seen in the video. So this cop should go to jail. They should taser the hell out of him. They should let the parent or the kid that got tasered, let them taser that police officer just as bad to give him a taste of his own medicine. I mean, these cops like that, and again, there's some good cops out there, but there's some bad cops too, and these bad cops should be putting on damn handcuffs and get served the beating. That's where they should be. The father of this child should beat the ever-living crap out of that police officer. The good police should let the bad cop and the father into a cell and let the father have his way with them. That's what it should be done. That's justice right there. And then after that, send the cop to jail. And on Sunday afternoon, Independence Police Officer Tim Runnels ran Kansas City teen Bryce Masters plates and discovered a warrant violation. And we got about 30 seconds left. And when the officer approached Masters' car, police say he refused to roll down the vehicle's window. A friend told news outlets Masters would have been unable to roll down his window due to the malfunction. So basically, the officer opened the door and ordered him out of the car at the request, and Masters did not oblige. So the officer proceeded to tase the teen. Tase the teen, just put him, unrendered, and tase the hell out of him, because he thought he had the authority to do that. But it's all on video, eyewitness accounts. We got more of this police state stuff we're going to cover next week in the whole technocracy grid. We're going to focus next week's show on the police state, on the whole technocracy, folks. And we're about out of time, and I want to thank everybody for joining us on our second show on alternatecurrentradio.com with your host Dan Bidondi. And again, truthradioshow.com. And if again, $25 or more donation to the operation here gets you the free DVD. And again, folks, this show you hear now, it's going to be posted on YouTube, which will be available on truthradioshow.com and Truth Radio Show YouTube channel, the video version portion of the show. And this is Dan Bidondi. We'll see you next week on Truth Radio Show on alternatecurrentradio.com. God bless.